January 11th, 2013. The Lowndes High School gymnasium, usually alive with the sounds of sneakers squeaking and basketballs bouncing, stood eerily silent. In the dimly lit corner, amidst the neatly stacked sports equipment, lay a chilling secret. Inside a vertically stored gym mat, its blue canvas exterior giving no hint of the horror it concealed, lay the lifeless body of 17-year-old Kendrick Johnson. His discovery sent shockwaves through the small town, shattering its peaceful facade and leaving a community grappling with unanswered questions. How did a popular athletic teenager end up dead inside a gym mat? VALDOSTA, a town steeped in tradition and southern charm, found itself thrust into the national spotlight. Kendrick, a well-liked student and athlete, was a beloved member of the community, his infectious smile leaving a lasting impression. The investigation into Kendrick's death would unearth a tangled web of conflicting accounts, questionable evidence, and allegations of a cover-up. As the case gained national attention, the eyes of the nation turned to VALDOSTA, searching for answers. The initial investigation, plagued by inconsistencies and a lack of transparency, only deepened the mystery. The official cause of death, positional asphyxiation, was met with skepticism and outrage from Kendrick's family. How could a physically fit teenager become fatally trapped in a gym mat? The more questions that were asked, the more elusive the answers seemed to become. The mystery of Kendrick Johnson's death was far from over. 16, athletic, full of life. Kendrick Johnson was a beloved son, brother and friend. Known for his infectious grin and playful nature, he was a bright light in his family and the halls of Lowndes High School. He dreamed of a future filled with basketball, his talent on the court evident to anyone who watched him play. He had the drive, the dedication and the unwavering support of his family. But on January 10th, 2013, that future was tragically cut short. Kendrick vanished, leaving behind a void that would never be filled. The morning of January 10th began like any other. Kendrick attended classes, his laughter echoing through the hallways. Lunchtime found him in the bustling cafeteria, sharing jokes and stories with friends. After lunch, Kendrick headed to his afternoon classes. As the final bell rang, signaling the end of the school day, Kendrick made his way to the gymnasium. He had plans to meet up with friends for basketball practice, a routine as familiar as breathing. But Kendrick never made it to practice. The following morning, January 11th, the search for Kendrick took a devastating turn. Inside the gym, amidst the neatly stacked equipment, a group of students stumbled upon a horrifying sight. Concealed within a vertically stored gym mat, his body contorted and lifeless, lay Kendrick Johnson. The news of Kendrick's death spread like wildfire, engulfing the town of VALDOSTA in a wave of shock and grief. The investigation into Kendrick's death began immediately, but with each passing hour, more questions arose than answers. Whispers of foul play began to circulate, their urgency amplified by the lack of clear information from authorities. Had Kendrick been murdered? And if so, who would commit such a heinous act? Rumours spread like wildfire through the halls of Lowndes High School and beyond. The community, desperate for answers, grappled with the weight of speculation. The official investigation was underway, but for Kendrick's family and friends, the search for truth was only just beginning. January 9th, 2013. The air buzzed with the energy of a typical Wednesday afternoon. The squeak of sneakers on polished floors, the rhythmic thud of basketballs, the chatter of students. Among them was Kendrick Johnson, his lanky frame moving with an athlete's grace. He had just finished basketball practice, the gym still echoing with the sounds of his teammates' laughter and the coach's encouraging shouts. Kendrick was a fixture on the court, his passion for the game evident in every dribble, every shot. As the last of the students filed out of the gym, Kendrick lingered, his mind still replaying the day's practice. Little did he know, this seemingly ordinary day would be his last. The next morning, Kendrick's family awoke to an unsettling silence. He wasn't in his room. His bed remained untouched. Panic began to set in as they realized he hadn't come home the previous night. Frantic calls were made to friends, teammates, anyone who might have seen him, but no one had. Kendrick had vanished, seemingly into thin air. Hours turned into an agonizing day as the Johnson family searched tirelessly for their son. The police were called, but their initial investigation offered little comfort. As days stretched into a nightmarish eternity, the search for Kendrick intensified. Volunteers joined forces with law enforcement, combing through the town, distributing flyers, clinging to the hope that he would be found safe. The Lowndes High School community was in shock. How could a popular athletic teenager simply disappear? Theories abounded, each more unsettling than the last. Kendrick's family, their faces etched with exhaustion and worry, refused to give up hope. They clung to the belief that he was out there somewhere, that someone somewhere knew something that could lead them to him. The disappearance of Kendrick Johnson shook VALDOSTA to its core. The quaint southern town, known for its friendly atmosphere and slow pace of life, was now grappling with a chilling mystery. Fear and suspicion seeped into everyday life. Parents held their children a little tighter, their eyes scanning the streets with newfound vigilance. The investigation continued, but answers remained elusive. The community, once united in their hope for Kendrick's safe return, now found themselves bound together by a shared sense of loss. Word of Kendrick Johnson's tragic demise spread like wildfire, quickly transcending the borders of VALDOSTA, Georgia. News outlets across the country picked up the story, their headlines splashed with the haunting image of a young man found dead inside a gym mat. The nation watched, captivated and horrified, as the details of the case unfolded. A seemingly ordinary teenager gone without a trace, only to be discovered in such a bizarre and inexplicable manner. The mystery gripped the national consciousness, sparking debates and demanding answers. Social media became a platform for outrage and speculation. The case became a lightning rod for discussions about race, justice, and the power of small-town secrets. As the initial shock subsided, the focus shifted to the investigation itself. The official cause of death, positional asphyxiation, did little to quell the growing unease surrounding the case. How could a healthy, athletic teenager become fatally trapped inside a gym mat? The explanation seemed improbable at best, impossible at worst. Kendrick's family, their grief compounded by a profound sense of disbelief, refused to accept the official findings. They hired independent investigators determined to uncover the truth, no matter how painful it might be. The lack of clear answers only deepened the mystery, leaving a community and a nation grappling with unanswered questions. Fueled by unwavering love and a burning desire for justice, Kendrick Johnson's family embarked on a tireless campaign to uncover the truth. They refused to let their son's death be relegated to a cold case, a tragic accident swept under the rug. They organized rallies and marches, their voices echoing through the streets of VALDOSTA and beyond, demanding answers, demanding accountability. The Johnson family's fight resonated with people across the country, many of whom saw their own struggles reflected in the family's unwavering pursuit of justice. Donations poured in, supporting their legal battles and independent investigations. The Johnson family's story became a testament to the power of love, determination, and the unwavering belief that truth, no matter how elusive, must be pursued. Despite the passage of time, the investigation into Kendrick Johnson's death remains open, a testament to the relentless efforts of his family. Independent autopsies have been conducted, revealing discrepancies with the initial findings and raising further questions. Legal battles have been waged, seeking access to evidence, demanding transparency, and challenging the official narrative. The case has been reopened and reclassified, a glimmer of hope in the long and arduous fight for justice. New evidence has been examined, witnesses have been re-interviewed, and the pursuit of truth continues. The truth, though elusive, remains the ultimate goal, and the fight to uncover it continues. As the official investigation sputtered and stalled, a parallel narrative began to take hold in the streets of VALDOSTA. Whispers, rumours and speculation filled the void left by concrete answers, weaving a tapestry of suspicion and intrigue. The name that surfaced most frequently in these hushed conversations belonged to Brian and Brandon Bell, classmates of Kendrick's at Lowndes High. The brothers, sons of an FBI agent, became focal points of the alternative narrative, their images plastered on flyers and shared across social media with accusations of their involvement. The Bell brothers vehemently denied any involvement, their lives thrown into turmoil by the weight of suspicion cast upon them. The whispers transformed into a chorus of accusations echoing through the streets of VALDOSTA, painting a picture of a cover-up. Kenneth Johnson, Kendrick's father, became a pillar of strength and a vocal advocate for his son. His voice, raw with grief and fueled by a father's unwavering love, resonated with a community hungry for answers and eager for justice. He stood before crowds, his words a mix of pain, anger, and unwavering determination. He challenged the official narrative, demanding accountability and calling for a thorough and transparent investigation into his son's death. His pleas for justice transcended the borders of VALDOSTA, reaching a national audience and shining a spotlight on the case. Kenneth Johnson's pain was palpable, his grief a tangible presence at rallies and press conferences. His message was clear. Kendrick Johnson was more than just a statistic, more than just a name in a headline. The cloud of suspicion hanging over the Bell brothers, fueled by the relentless whisper campaign and the lack of progress in the official investigation, began to take a toll. The brothers, once active and engaged students, withdrew from public life, their lives irrevocably altered by the accusations swirling around them. Their father, an FBI agent, found himself thrust into the center of a case that pitted his professional life against the safety and well-being of his sons. The family faced death threats, their home vandalized, their lives turned upside down by the relentless scrutiny and judgment of a community consumed by suspicion. The weight of suspicion, even without formal charges, can be a crushing burden. The Bell brothers became cautionary tales, their experience a stark reminder of the destructive power of rumors, unverified accusations, and the insatiable thirst for answers that can grip a community in the wake of tragedy. Their story highlighted the complex and often messy intersection of public opinion, social media, and the justice system. In the absence of concrete answers, speculation and accusation can fill the void, with potentially devastating consequences for those caught in the crosshairs. The Kendrick Johnson case became a dividing line in VALDOSTA, cleaving the community into factions, each clinging to their own version of the truth. Lines were drawn, friendships tested, and the social fabric of the town strained under the weight of suspicion and mistrust. On one side stood those who believed the official narrative, that Kendrick's death, while tragic, was a freak accident, They saw the case as closed, the evidence pointing to a heartbreaking but ultimately explainable tragedy. On the other side stood those who rejected the official explanation, convinced that Kendrick had been murdered, his death the result of foul play and a subsequent cover-up. They pointed to inconsistencies in the evidence, the seemingly impossible circumstances of his death, and the lack of transparency from law enforcement as proof that something sinister had transpired. The divisions ran deep, permeating every aspect of life in Valdosta. Families argued, neighbours stopped speaking, and the once peaceful town became a microcosm of the racial and social tensions simmering beneath the surface of American society. The Kendrick Johnson case exposed the fragility of trust, the power of perception, and the enduring legacy of racial injustice in America. It served as a stark reminder that even in the face of tragedy, unity and reconciliation can remain elusive. The search for truth often hindered by suspicion, prejudice, and the enduring power of doubt. Years have passed since Kendrick Johnson's life was tragically cut short. The once bright yellow crime scene tape surrounding the Lowndes High School gymnasium has long since faded. The throngs of news cameras have moved on to other stories, yet the spectre of Kendrick's unsolved death lingers, a heavy presence in the halls of the school and the hearts of those who loved him. For Jacqueline Johnson, Kendrick's mother, the passage of time has done little to dull the pain of her loss. The image of her son, full of life and promise, forever frozen at 17, remains etched in her memory, a haunting reminder of a future stolen. Jacqueline has become a guardian of her son's memory, a tireless advocate for justice, refusing to let the world forget Kendrick or the unanswered questions surrounding his death. She attends every court hearing, every rally, every vigil, her voice unwavering, her spirit unbroken. Her home is a shrine to Kendrick, filled with his photos, his trophies, his clothes, tangible reminders of a life cut short. She speaks to him every day, shares her hopes and fears, her determination to find answers fueled by a mother's love that transcends even death itself. Despite the tireless efforts of Kendrick's family, the unwavering support of their legal team, and the national spotlight cast upon the case, the investigation into Kendrick Johnson's death remains shrouded in uncertainty. Years of legal battles, independent investigations, and conflicting narratives have yielded few concrete answers, leaving a void filled with speculation, frustration, and a lingering sense of injustice. The official cause of death, positional asphyxiation, remains a point of contention, challenged by independent experts who point to inconsistencies in the evidence and the implausibility of a healthy teenager becoming fatally trapped inside a rolled-up gym mat. The lack of a clear explanation for how Kendrick ended up in the mat, combined with the questionable handling of the initial investigation, has only fueled suspicions of foul play and a potential cover-up. The Bell brothers, once at the center of a firestorm of accusations, have since been cleared of any involvement in Kendrick's death. The Department of Justice, after a thorough investigation, found no evidence to support the allegations against them, leaving the case adrift. The search for answers seemingly at a standstill. The Kendrick Johnson case stands as a stark reminder of the complexities of the justice system, the limitations of forensic science, and the enduring power of doubt in the absence of definitive answers. The fight for justice for Kendrick and his family continues, a testament to the enduring power of love, hope, and the unwavering belief that truth, no matter how elusive, is worth pursuing. The death of Kendrick Johnson remains an open wound in Valdosta, a constant reminder of the fragility of life and the elusive nature of truth. The town grapples with the fallout, divisions a testament to the enduring impact of suspicion and grief. The case has sparked national conversations about race, class and privilege. Kendrick Johnson's legacy extends far beyond Valdosta, resonating with families across the country. His case is a rallying cry for reform, a call for a justice system that values truth and accountability. The mystery may never be fully solved, but the fight for truth and justice continues.